Okay, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that material from 10-Ton Dreamweaver. And I don't know if you're going to be using Dreamweaver yourself, or if you're going to be hand coding a lot of stuff, or maybe you're going to be using WordPress, or who the heck knows. But I hope you enjoyed all that, and I hope that idea of boxes inside boxes, I hope that really made sense for you, and I hope the idea of elements and the idea of attributes makes sense. Hopefully it's all coming together here for you. And honestly, the stuff that you just learned, that's probably the toughest part of learning HTML. I got to be honest. So in other words, HTML boils down to understanding what an element is, understanding what an attribute is, understanding what attributes go with what elements, and then it's just a matter of, figuring out, okay, I want to stick a table onto my page, how do I code it? Or I want to stick a graphic onto my page, how do I code it? So really, I hope what's happening here for you is that really this sort of the veil is being, or the curtain is being pulled aside, and you're realizing there's nothing to HTML. It's really simple and really straightforward, and there's not a lot to it. Regardless as to, what you've heard from coworkers or college professors or, what's coming out of the IT department. It's really easy stuff. So I want to give you just a little bit more here. This is going to be a very simple lesson here for you. On the issue of elements, and we know that elements are objects that sit on our page, right? There's actually two different kinds of elements. There are block level elements, and there are also inline elements. And here's the deal. I'll kind of break the two down here for you, as I always wind up doing. So let's talk about block level elements first. First of all, a block level element is an element that breaks onto a new line on your page whenever you insert it. So, for example, you stick a block level element onto your page, even if you stick it into the middle of a paragraph of text or something, it's always going to break onto a new line on your page. Pretty simple, isn't it? That's kind of all there is to it. And normally, a block level element is going to contain inline elements as well as other content like text and things like this, right? Now, here's some examples of block level elements that I just kind of scribbled out here for you. We have a P inside the angle brackets there. That's a paragraph. We have our heading levels, so heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, and so on. We have something called a div. We'll talk about divs later on. And also tables, and you'll see how to hand code tables towards the end of our time here together. So any of these are not all of the block level elements, by the way. These are just a few examples, a smattering of examples. So if we were to go and insert a div, or if we were to go and insert a paragraph, then that content would break onto a new line. And you'll actually see some tactile examples of these guys as we go along here. So hopefully that's all good. Hopefully that makes sense. Now, an inline element, what's the deal with an inline element? Well, almost the opposite to a block level element. So it's not going to break onto a new line. It's not going to break the content onto a new line. Instead, it's often going to appear inside a paragraph of text or a sentence of text. Not always, but often. And they will usually only contain text and other inline elements. So an inline element often would only just contain content like text and other inline elements, right? Here's some examples for you. We have strong inside angle brackets that would create bold text. We have what's referred to as a depreciated element, which means an element that's no longer really used. It's still supported, but it's not really used anymore, called font. And that allows us to apply some font formatting. I'll show you that guy later on. We have A for hyperlink. We'll see hyperlinks later on. And also graphics as well with the IMG. So these guys would all appear within a paragraph of text. So a hyperlink inside a paragraph of text, or a graphic inside a paragraph of text. I think you get the idea there. So anyway, there you go. Block level elements and inline elements. I really can't make it more complicated than that, because that's all there is to it. All right, so hopefully all good. Now, let's move on